What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the PHLY Plays MLB The Show franchise mode. Last season, as we left you off, we won 63 games and finished under 100 losses for the first time. That's the good news. The bad news is I was kind of rifling around some trades and some things that I could try to make the team better, and I stumbled into something that's going to make me really mad. And I really almost wish that I wouldn't have done it. And it has nothing to do with my roster. In fact, it has nothing to do with any of the rosters in the National League. If you go to the American League East, and you take a look at the Toronto Blue Jays, look at this. This is the catcher that we didn't draft. Andres Lantigua is not only an A potential, he is an all-star caliber catcher at the age of 23. He's an 84 overall already. Look at the power against lefties. This guy would have been the best player on our team immediately. His rookie year, 24 home runs, 84 RBI. He had 260, but he had 41 extra base hits. He's on a renewable and arbitration contract for another 5 seasons. In a grand total of nonsense that I have done over the years, this might be the biggest nonsense of them all. I needed to draft that guy. We didn't do it, and now I feel even more stupid. So anyway, welcome back. We are in the year 2030. We are still considered rank-wise the worst team in baseball, but last year we won 63 games. I expect more than that this year. And I was trying to make a trade to acquire some talent, and I think at this point, the place that we're going to end up looking to move is in the starting rotation, actually. And I think the guy that I'm going to look to move is Emmett Sheehan. So Sheehan's been with us now for 4 seasons, or 3 seasons. This is his 4th year since we picked him up on the waivers. But he's now 30 years old. He's a 76 overall. He's at $7 million contract extension or arbitration eligibility next year, $7 million this year. We lost arbitration against them. I think we're going to try to make a trade that includes Emmett Sheehan to get better on the offensive side of things and see where we can go from there. Well, all right, so I was able to put together a package that, while it's not super exciting, Emmett Sheehan headlines. We moved Steve Ono and Eric Moon, a couple of prospects that really, quite frankly, we're not all that keen on. Eric Moon is 33 years old, and he's only a 48 overall. And then with Steve Ono, not only do we already have Blaze Jordan at first, but he's kind of buried at the depth chart. He's 31. He's not going anywhere either. So we found a trade with the Miami Marlins that I think is going to be big for us. Now, remember, we did acquire Blaze Jordan, who had a good year for us last season, hit 268, 20 home runs, was a decent player in his own right. But we have an opportunity to upgrade the team. And we are going to take that opportunity by heading to the Miami Marlins, going to first base. How about this? Jac Caglianone is available, and the Marlins are interested in this trade. We are going to flip Emmett Sheehan, where we could just simply slide Hunter Barco into the starting rotation, so that's not that big a deal. We could figure out the long relief thing. I'm not that worried about it. And a couple of pretty crappy prospects to go get Jack at just 27. And by the way, 3 years of arbitration left after this. This is a no-brainer move for us. We are going to make this move. We just got so much better at first base. We just got so much better as a team. So this move actually does a whole lot for us. First and foremost, Jack's going to hit third. He's immediately the best player on the team. But what it lets us do is move Blaze Jordan out of the first base position, which, neither he nor Jack are great defenders in their own right. But I can move Blaze Jordan to the DH against righties, and that moves Zach Veen to the bench. And then I can also move Blaze Jordan to the DH against lefties, which moves Ronaldo Hernandez back to the bench, which is good for us because now we have our backup catcher, kind of readily available to actually be the backup catcher. So this lineup now consists of Hunter Bishop, Daz Cameron, Jac Caglianone, Keibert Ruiz, Eugene Chavis, our draft pick, Blaze Jordan, Andy Favre, our draft pick, Jimmy Castle, Jared Triolo. It's way better. We have Zach Veen. We have Ronaldo Hernandez. We have Joendry Vargas on the bench. That's 3 bench players who are all 70s or better. That means we only have really one more bench spot. And whether it ends up being Steven Mason, who we allow to be on the bench, or if we keep, Nieve or something like that, or a Calvert maybe, our bench now is only going to have really one bad player in it. But we just got significantly better with this move at a multitude of positions. I know that, we still have a long way to go. But that trade right there, I think, may be the best single move that we have made in this franchise. So we actually ran into some little bit of an issue for the first time in this series because we have all of these guys now who are out of outright assignments. Calvert, Simmons, Moore, Cloven, Ono, Hamill, all have to get passed through waivers because they have been optioned to AAA 3 times, which I think is a good thing for us in terms of our roster progressing. And eventually these guys are going to be off the 40. But right now, we do have to pass them through waivers. I don't expect any of these guys to get claimed because they're 58 and below. But it is the first time, really, we've had to send anybody through waivers. And this time we have to send 6 guys through waivers in order to have our 26-man roster put in order. Now, the other thing that we did was we did add Pablo Ibarra to the 40 to be our long reliever this year. Our bullpen is going to go Cole Waits, Henry Page, Dylan Lee, Nick Sandlin, Michael Kopech, Bryce Jarvis, Pablo Hernandez. And that is our best bullpen that we've put together really in the entirety of the game. So we are going to see who's going to be available on the waiver wire. Again, we can claim 1 player on the waiver wire. We'll see if we do that. This may be the first year we don't, but we can do that if we need to. All right, plenty of players to pick from in the waiver wire pool this year. The only position that we can't select is second base because we took Jared Triolo last year. But if we wanted to add another starting pitcher, we certainly could. If we wanted to add to our bench depth, we could add a Lucan Baker or an Andres Chaparro. I think really any of one of these guys, again, would certainly help our team. Johnny Brito would allow us to not have a reliever under 70 overall. He's only making $2.6 million. I think putting a claim in for Brito makes the most sense. Our roster is starting to get better. Our lineup's starting to get better, but we do have that one under 70 reliever in our bullpen. So we're going to put the claim in for Johnny Brito this year, even though there are 80s that are readily available. But now our numbers are starting to go in the right direction. We're 29th in contact, 29th in power, 29th in pitching, 28th in defense. This is the best team that we have had, and it's not particularly close. We won 63 games last year. I think there's a chance we could break the 70-win plateau, and that would definitively make us not the worst team in baseball. So that's not a bold take anymore. We've done that plenty of times. My bold take this year is that we at the trade deadline are going to acquire a big-time player. Not that gets us into the postseason, but a big-time player that makes a difference on this roster. We already got Jac in the beginning of the season. I think we add to that by trading away some of the prospects that we've acquired, and I think we're going to get a big-time player down the stretch. There are a lot of losses that are already starting to pile up. 12 is still manageable. We still have a chance. 13 and 16 at the end of April. That puts us just 3 games under 500 through the first month. We're already 7.5 back because Washington is off to a 21-9 start, but that's manageable. And if we could stay kind of in that, 3 to 4 losses below 500 range for a majority, every single month, we'll be in a pretty good spot by the time that the trade deadline rolls around. Series sweep against the Rockies, multiple series wins. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on. Wait. I got to come back onto the screen for this. We are, through the month of May, it's not the first 2 games. This is not anything like that. Through the month of May, meaning we have played 57 games. We are over 500. We're 29 and 28. We won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 games in the month of May. That is by far the best season that we have ever produced. We are 29 and 28 through the month of May. We do have a chance at the end of June, heading into July, to be over 500. And how about this? We're not in last in the division. No. We're not even in second to last. We are in third in the National League East after having won 7 of our last 10 games. So let's hope for a good June. We have an opportunity to beat up on some other bad teams here. And I think this could be a month that really solidifies us for the first time. There are a lot of green W's popping up in that month. We went 3 games over 500 in that month. A series win against Milwaukee. Series win against Toronto, series win against Pittsburgh, series win against the Cubs, sweep of the Marlins, 1 of 3 in a couple of spots, but we are now 44 and 39 after the month of June. If you remember, we, after the first 2 years, after the first 3 years, had only won 42 games in a single season. We were 0-162, 20-142, 42-120. We have now almost gotten to that 48-win mark, which would be the second most wins in a season. I could not be any happier with that way that the last 2 months have gone. We have a chance to break the 50-win mark before the All-Star break. This is awesome. I am thrilled. 2 wins against the Reds, 2 against the Padres. We've already won 5 games in the month of July. We have 49 wins, and we have not cleared the All-Star break yet. Absolutely not. We are not moving Pablo Hernandez for anything right now. That dude is going to be our closer until the day he retires. We have 51 wins at the MLB draft. There has only been one season in this franchise's history that has won more than 50 games. It was last year we won 63. We are well on our way to at least breaking that mark and hopefully even better. So now we are officially on the clock with really kind of the world in front of us other than those 2 guys. But look at what his future could hold. Look at the contact of what this guy could potentially be. This is a risk, no question about it. First of all, we haven't scouted him. Second of all, high school player. Third of all, the range for both potential and overall are ginormous. But if we hit on this guy, this may be the best player in our organization. With the 3rd overall pick in this draft, we are selecting this catcher, and I am hoping that it's on the positive end of things. 8th best player both in Major League Baseball and our scouting. Taking a chance, no question about it, with it being only 5% scouted. But I think we're going to take that chance. I think we're going to take the right fielder, Rick Garcia. Again, potential, not the highest in the world, but I think this could be a somewhat of a plug-and-play type guy. Our right field play is in 28th. So I think we're going to take Rick Garcia, the 39th ranked player with the 40th overall pick. We are going to take this reliever here, Ross Douglas, lefty, could be a 95 overall potential. He is rated as the 74th best player. This is the 79th pick. So I think we're going to take the reliever here, Ross Douglas, with the 3rd pick, the first pick in the 3rd round. I think we're going to take this guy here. Oliver Torrero is going to be our 4th round pick. Little bit of a reach with the 123rd best player at 109, but I think that obviously he would not be around at 139, and if we wanted to get him, I think that was probably the time to get him, kind of taking chances, throwing darts at a dartboard. I actually don't have a problem selecting this guy, Brian Chen, first baseman who, could top out at a 99 potential. Right now, it looks like he can't hit at all, but there is a potential later down the line. It's going to take him some years to develop that he could become a major league player. We're going to draft him at 139, and that is the final pick of the draft, our 6th round selection. I said our 4th. I meant our 6th round selection there. So we have, it is time to get to the All-Star break. We are 51-45 at the All-Star break. Is this the year that we finally have multiple All-Stars? Let's see. So Pablo Hernandez, once again, makes the All-Star team. It's the 2nd year in a row that he has been an All-Star for us. So just one pitcher, which is not that surprising. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I lied. Let's double back. Logan Allen has made the All-Star team. That gives us 2. Logan Allen is 6-3 with a 2.51 ERA. We have 2 pitchers in the All-Star game, so we already definitively have at least 2 players having made the All-Star team. That is amazing. So not only do we have 2 All-Stars, we're 6 games over 500, just 3.5 back of the Washington Nationals. But not only are we just 3.5 back of the Nationals, we are also right in the thick of a playoff spot. We are just a half game back. No, I'm sorry. We are in a playoff spot. We are 2.5 games ahead of the Mets. We are in the final wild card spot in the National League right now, 6 games over 500. Guys, I think it's time to buy. I think it's time to start going and trying to really lock in on some of these big time players at the trade deadline. I think we have a very legitimate chance of making the postseason if things continue to go the way that we're hoping they go. All right, let's take a look at the trade deadline. There's not as many players that I thought were going to be available, or at least that I hoped would be available. There's very few 80 overall type of players. 5 years ago, I probably would have been thrilled to try to offer a contract to Griffin Jax. He's making $9 million this year, but the problem is he's signed for another 9. He's heading in the wrong direction. I really thought that we were going to try to get like an impact type of player. And I'll be honest, I don't know if there are impact type of players available. It's 78s, it's 77s. It's like, it's fine, but it's not the type of players that I thought would be available, especially considering how many bad teams that we've played in the last couple of days. Josh Naylor's the only one that's available. He's on the final year of his deal, but I'm happy at first base. I guess Ryan McMahon would be somebody that could make sense, but another guy that's heading in the wrong direction, and he has $17 million left on his deal. Heston Kjerstad, not really all that interested. I guess Drew Gilbert probably would be the guy, but, he's not really hitting. He's not doing a whole lot for us. I mean, he's really carried by his defense. Brian Rocchio, we know, is pretty much going to be carried by his defense. He's not a power hitter at all. Not that I'm necessarily looking for a power hitter, but I think, looking at the lineup, the only player that I would replace in the starting lineup at this current moment might be Jimmy Castle, who's having himself a good enough year. Not great, but I think really this might just be a situation where I thought we were going to make some kind of serious move, and we may just hang tight. We may just sit with the guys that we have and kind of go from there. I'm not sure I'm going to really trade anybody. So I think we're just going to simulate through the trade deadline. I really thought that there was going to be like a big-time name available for us, and there just wasn't. Again, Josh Naylor was the type of guy that I thought was, 2 years ago would have been great for us, but we've got Jac now. I don't think we need to make that move. Christian Reze is finally available to sign. He's asking for $7.5 million. We're going to go a little bit over that. We'll go 7.9. He has accepted. I am interested to see how good he actually is. Brian Chen, the first baseman, is asking for $467, which I think can actually go a little bit over slot value. Reze ends up being a 76 potential. We had a chance at him to be a 91. He was a 76. 73 for Garcia, low end. Douglas, 78, low end. Torrero, 61, low end. Brian Chen, 82. He's probably the best pick that we made. But these guys are not nearly as... Another one, draft where we kind of got duped a little bit. He'll be a 73. He'll be on the team quickly. But it really wasn't that good of a draft for us. And so we won 2 out of 3 against the Tigers. We are 7 games over 500 as we enter the month of August. And I'm sorry, what does that say? Does that say through 111 games we are the leader in the National League East? What happened to the Nationals were 21-7. We are leading the National League East through 111 games. Now, there's 51 games left to play. I do not expect to win the division, but we are leading a bad National League East through the month of July. If we have a good August, we legitimately might make the postseason. It was a fine August. We're still 6 games over 500. But we're now 2 games up on the Washington Nationals for first place in the National League East. And not only are we 2 games up on the Washington Nationals, we have 71 wins through the month of August, which means even if we lose every game the rest of the way, we could sign a free agent who is a 71 overall. We have a chance in September. We are 71-65. So that means we've played 136 games. We have 26 games left to play. I don't expect us to go 9-7 to win 90 games. Or 19-7, to win 90 games. But I think we could go 14-11 or 14-12 and finish with 85 wins. I really do think there's a very real chance we could finish with 85 wins. We'll see what happens. This is going to be a fun stretch run for the remainder of the season. And in fact, I think for the first time, I think I'm going to simulate like series at a time. Let's wrap up this series against the Braves to see where we're truly at. We win that game. We are 72-65. 3-game series against the Milwaukee Brewers. We take 2 out of 3. 3-game set in Miami against the Fish. We just win 1. A 4-game series against the Mets, who are kind of right on our tail. They take 3 out of 4, and that puts them in a tie with us. Us, the Nationals, and the Mets are all tied at 76 and 71. That's a really bad 3-game series loss. We have now lost 5 of our last 6 games after winning 4 out of 5 to start the month. 3-game series coming up against Kansas City. We lose all 3. The Dodgers, we lose all 3. What are we doing? This is a landslide. We just got swept by Arizona. We have lost like 12 straight games. What are we doing? Dude. We have lost 3 against the Mets, 3 against the Royals, 3 against the Dodgers, 3 against the Diamondbacks. We've lost 12 straight games. We were 76 and 68. We finished 79 and 83? What are we doing? What a terrible month. We won 8 games in the month of September. We won 4 games after September 6th. From September 6th to September 29th, we played 21 games. We went 4-17. The Mets win the division. I don't think we were going to win 81 games. But that's a disaster to end the season. If you would have told me at the beginning of the year that we were going to go 79 and 83, I would have been thrilled. Because not only was that a huge improvement in terms of being able to go sign some free agents, it was a huge improvement in wins. We go from 63 to 79. This is by far the best season that we've ever had. But we went 4-17 down the stretch. If you would have gone 10-11, you would have won the division. You would have made the postseason at 10-11. Instead, you went 4-17. What a disaster to end the year. I don't even want to talk. I don't want to be here. We got to go sign a pitching coach and a farm director. I don't even know who our pitching coach was. I'm just going to go find the best one available. But the first thing we're going to do, because really for the first time we actually have the ability to sign legit players, is I'm going to go to the relief group. Now, we still can only sign 79 overalls. And the other thing that we have to keep in mind is we can only sign 2 players that are 79 overall, like at the cap. After that, we can go and sign, a 70 or 71 or whatnot. But at the max, we can only sign 2 players at 79 overall. Victor Vodnik would be interesting if he still throws hard. I don't know if he does in this game. He does. He's 31. I think Victor Vodnik would actually make a lot of sense at a 78 overall, 79 overall, still a B potential. And I think what the play is going to be is we're going to put a contract offer in for Victor Vodnik. And now we actually have to do this, demand, call the agent type of thing. We actually have to make these guys priority because they're not, a million ways down on the depth chart. We will have to go and sign a whole bunch of guys, so we'll do that off screen. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to offer Victor Vodnik a contract, and then I think the other player that we are going to offer, Oswaldo Peraza as well. I know he's asking for $11 million, which we could probably just go and sign somebody else for cheaper, like bringing Triolo back. But quite frankly, I would rather have Peraza than Triolo. Quite frankly, I'd probably rather have Nico Hoerner than all of them. But in this game, Nico Hoerner's not particularly good. I think we will pivot to Peraza. I'm interested to see what he's looking for. I mean, he's asking for $11 million. I don't quite know if $11 million is how much I want to spend. But those 3 guys are going to be my priority signings. And then, of course, we're going to go and sign a whole bunch of starters to replace the depth that we lost. So we'll do that. We'll be back on the other side. All right, so we've made a couple of moves. We signed 3 starters, 2 depth pieces, but we also got Luis Severino, who is a 71 overall on a $780,000 deal. Obviously, he's not going to likely pitch in the majors this year, but that's AAA depth that I think will make our AAA team a little bit better. We've had to release a couple of players in order to do it, especially with the couple of free agents that we have offered contracts to. So now that we have some actual free agent contract negotiations, this part of the thing is going to go a little bit differently. Because in the past, we have really just kind of signed a whole bunch of bad players and see if they would sign. And most of them do for, $60,000 or whatever it is. But because we're in a little bit of a different spot now we actually have to have conversations about players that you have to add to the big board. Victor Vodnik has a 42% motivation to sign. We can offer his contract at 50%. Peraza, I am a little bit surprised that he was he's willing to sign right away, but we can offer him a contract. But I don't think I would honestly rather give him a 1-year deal and give him more money. Like I do 1 year for $12 million, and so we're going to send that contract offer over and see if he accepts. Oswald Peraza's decision is in, and he is signing with the Phillies. Our first legitimate free agent signing, a B potential, doesn't really matter, he's getting a little bit older, but a 79 overall. He joins the team, and that is really the first big signing that we have had as this franchise unfolds. I'm excited. It's nothing huge, but I am kind of excited. Now, if we could get Victor Vodnik, I think this could be a good offseason for us. So we are going to offer Victor Vodnik a contract. He is 31. I'm going to go 2 years, $6.5 million for Victor Vodnik. We're going to send that offer in, and we'll see if he accepts it. Let's go. We got both of our free agent signings. Vodnik and Peraza are both going to be on the team this year. That's exciting. Now I got to try to go to the Rule 5 draft, see if there's anybody that is available for us to take in the Rule 5 draft that could help us. This year we are picking 14th because we had a much better year. We are heading in the right direction because for the first time ever, we are going to pass in the Rule 5 draft. And so the last thing that I'm probably going to look to do is potentially move Daz Cameron, who's 34, and I think probably trending in the wrong direction. Now, the only thing is I don't want to restart, so I'm not looking for a true prospect. I'm just looking for somebody a little bit younger that might be able to help us out, for the foreseeable future in center field. I did not expect this to kind of come to fruition. I really didn't expect to move a 77 backup catcher, but we're getting an opportunity here to get an 82 overall A potential left fielder. Now, the downside is he's a terrible defender, but look at the bat. 87 contact, 81 power against righties. Power's decent against lefties as well. All we'll do is move our first-round pick to the backup catcher spot, which obviously is not something I'm super excited about, an 18-year-old being our backup catcher, but that's exactly what we're going to do. So we are going to move Daz Cameron, who, I give a big salute to, played 137 games or more since joining the team 4 years ago. He was kind of a stalwart with the team, had never hit less than 14 home runs. A great defender, but I think that we have an opportunity to go acquire a 26-year-old bat who is better than Daz Cameron. And really what I'm giving up, because we're flipping Cameron anyway, what I'm giving up is a backup catcher and a depth piece reliever. This is a move that I'm going to make. I think we just got significantly better by adding Rob Mock to the fold. What we're going to do is move Andy Favre to center field. His defense is an 89 overall. I think that's a move that's easy to make. But Rob Mock now joins the team and is going to be our everyday left fielder. And I think that is pretty much what's going to be the end of our offseason. A surprising move, kind of like the last year when we were able to go get Blaze Jordan late, and then we got Jack early in the offseason. But I think this is a move that makes a whole heck of a lot of sense for us. In a season that could have been extremely frustrating, we ended up getting significantly better. Jack is an 85. Karlik's up to an 82. Mock 82. Grady, Little, Keibert Ruiz, Hunter Barco, Pablo Hernandez. We now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players who are at least a 30 over, or at least an 80 overall. And our worst player, we only have 2 40s left in the organization, and one of them is a guy that we drafted last year. So we are really trending in the right direction. This team is going to continue to get better and better, and I think that is a really good place to stop, as now all of a sudden I feel a whole heck of a lot better than I did just a few minutes ago with this team's construction. We won 79 games last year. It was a great season, other than the collapse down the stretch. But I think next year is the year we make the playoffs. We'll see you in 2031. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We'll be back next week for another edition of MLB The Show right here on PHLY.